Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Today is September 30th, 2025, and we are doing our trade recap for the 800 tick MNQ chart. This is primarily a chart that I trade every day, and I just want to go over all of our potential setups that we took today, the winners and the losers, and our win rate and how much we captured in about an hour to 2 hours of trading. We start at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time when the New York market opens. Let me just mark some things here real quick. So again, I've mentioned this before in some of my videos. I like to do this as a retrospective view of what went right, what went wrong, and what could we improve. And that's how I've gotten better over the years. Also noticing potential patterns in the market and overall how to modify and even develop my strategy. And so this going candle by candle has helped me tremendously in let's go back in time here, right at 9:30. 9:30 is right here. So this has helped me tremendously. All right, there's a 9:30 candle right there. Um, and you guys can get a view or an idea of how my system works as well. So I'm just drawing a bunch of lines here. Um, we have this line. We have a bunch of downward trend lines. Market structure this morning was actually very tricky, very choppy, and there weren't really a lot of signals that I said, wow, yeah, this is the one. This is what we need to take, right? Um, all right, so we don't have any trades right now. Market open. This candle right here is presenting a potential signal to go higher. Problem is we have a downward trend line here, and so I typically don't like to take it into. It didn't trigger anyway, so let's go ahead and draw this line here, and now we have sort of a double bottom look. And now we have this huge candle that's bullish. Um, but we can't take it for a couple of reasons. This purple dotted line is the 1700 close from the prior day, and this is a 1600 close from the prior day as well. Those typically might act as areas of support and resistance. In this case, it might be resistance. We're filling the gap, if you will. And then we just have this downward trend line here, which I potentially could just delete. There's this other trend line, but also more importantly, we have a standard deviation level off of VWAP. This dotted orange line is VWAP, and this is one standard deviation away. So if this triggered to the upside, we're going to run into a bigger downtrend here, and we're going to run into this VWAP level here. So let's just see what happens. It did trigger higher, but we're not going to take it. We'll go ahead and measure it out. And you can see it stopped out. Okay. And while this trade was going on, this trade triggered bearish, but VWAP's in the way. We were also in this bullish trade. It did end up working, but not a trade I would have been able to take anyway because we were technically in the middle of the bullish trade. So I typically don't like to take other trades, opposite trades, if the original trade are already triggered. So go ahead and delete that. We'll keep track of the runner here, and the runner just got taken out. So we have a new upward trend line. We'll get the runner. I keep track of the runner with this purple, with this pink dotted line. And let's keep going here. And we'll track which trades we do end up taking and how many winners and losers we have. Okay. So we have this, we tested the 21 EMA on this chart. We're also closed below VWAP. This will be a bearish trigger. Problem is 800 is in the way, and 800 or any 100 levels typically are strong areas of support. In this case, it did work, but typically I don't like taking it because of the 800 level. Our runner is still running. You can see here right below 800. Let's go ahead and delete this line, delete this, delete that. Now our runner has been taken out, and we are getting a bullish signal to go higher. Problem is we have VWAP in the way and this trend line in the way. So also our runner is here, downward trend line. So technically speaking, this was actually the trigger first. It's the first trigger that we take and keep track of. This did end up working, but you were again in the middle of this bearish trade down here that finally stopped out. Okay, our runner is right here. And let me zoom in so you can see a little bit better. Now, this is or was bearish trigger. Again, not taking it because 800 is in the way. It did end up working, keeping track of a runner here. Runner just got taken out by this candle. And now we're getting another bearish signal that triggered actually from this candle. Problem is we have another standard deviation level in the way. So we'll go ahead and measure it out, but we're not going to take it. It did end up working. Keep track of the runner. Golden ruler moves down. And then finally the runner gets taken out right there. So we draw a new trend line. We have this wedge. We're just going to wait until we come into a key area. This is a double bottom. We have our golden ruler moving down. And now this bearish signal is what I would take next. It broke the upward trend, closed below the standard deviation level, and this is what I would actually, this is what I took this morning. The crazy thing was that it my Ninja Trader froze when I took this trade. And what I normally would have been able to normally I would have been able to manage this trade, but I couldn't. And it ended up, and by manage, this is what I mean. I typically like to, if I didn't hit my target, I typically like to add at the 50% pullback and get a portion of my position out at the 150. It's the same as having this 1-to-1 here. So this trade would have worked. Problem is my Ninja Trader was frozen. I couldn't do that, and I ended up getting stopped out. So you're going to see here, we're going to get stopped out. So I'm just going to go ahead and call this a loser. We're going to, this was the first trade that I took of the day that followed all my rules. And we lost about 11, we'll say 12 points. So negative 12 points, first trade. Okay, let's see what's happening now. So this stopped out, but this also triggered higher and it hit target. The runner got stopped out right here. We retested. See, the golden ruler would have moved down here. We retested it. I don't know if it's quite. Yeah, they're both at the same level. So we retested the golden ruler, the swing high here, and then we came crashing back down. I wouldn't say crashing, but we came back down. So now we delete this, we delete that. We also have this bigger trend line that was tested and failed right here. This bigger trend line. So now we're getting the signal to go bearish. Problem is we have the standard deviation level in the way. So we'll go ahead and measure it out, but we're not going to take it. And it did end up working. But again, I'm trying my best to take trades that follow all of my rules, not just some of my rules, because I'm trying to be a consistently profitable trader. And if I become wishy-washy with my decisions, that's just not going to help me with my consistency. All right, so we did make a new low here. So golden ruler is still going to stay up here. Um, yeah, it's still going to stay up there. Keeping track of the runner. The runner's down here. We have a new downward trend line that is like this. All right, runner just got stopped out. This would be a bearish signal if we get it, but we have the 50 level right here, so I wouldn't take it, but I'm going to go ahead and mark it. Did end up working. And the runner just got stopped out. Um, Go ahead and draw this upward trend line here. All right. Now this is a little wishy-washy. We still have this bigger trend line that we could technically delete this and actually update it with this line like this. So yeah, that's a little bit more accurate. And now we have a signal here. Um, Actually, technically the signal, is it down here? No, this is the signal. So the question is, do we take this before, do you think we can hit the target before we hit this downward trend line? Probably not. It would require us to hit it almost in one or two candles. So I'm going to go ahead and skip this. And it did not work. And now we have a potential bearish signal here, but we have this upward trend line here. And it's also the trade that stopped this candle out. So I can't take this candle. This is one of my rules. Do not take the trade that stopped you out of the original trade. And this was also a stop loss. So my rules here are finally coming into effect. You can start seeing why I have some of these rules. Um, and I believe the bullish trigger was here when we were still in the bearish trade, so you can't really take it. But we are going to keep track of the runner. And the runner is still running. Okay, the runner's finally taken out. You can delete this line here. And this will be a signal to go lower, but we have standard deviation and the 50 in the way. So we are not going to take this bearish. And there you go. It triggered and stopped out immediately. Now we actually have a potential bullish trade. Problem is we have this trend line in the way, so we can't take this one either. Trend line could be potential resistance. In this case, it was. And now we have a potential bearish signal here, but we have all this support below us. This is a nice bullish candle signal, breaks through the trend line. Problem is the measured move is going to be too big. It's going to be beyond the standard deviation. So let's see what happens. It does end up working, but just didn't fit my rules. Technically speaking, our golden ruler would have moved all the way down here, and then it would have been down here, and now it's here. Okay. Golden ruler is right there, which helps me to draw this upward trend line. Keep track of the runner up here. Go ahead and update this. Okay, runner just got taken out. This is a signal to go higher. We have a bullish hammer bounce off the standard deviation level. If this triggers, we take it. And it did work. All right, so this was about, we could say 88, 82. We could say this is at least 6 points here, 6 to 7 points. We keep track of the runner, which I believe is still running. All right, we update this. And now we tagged 800 and 800. This will be a bearish trigger, but you're still in this upward trend line and the runner hasn't been taken out. So if it triggers to the downside, we still can't take it. We'll go ahead and measure it though. Stop loss, but we wouldn't have taken it anyway. This does move our golden ruler up to here. And now we have this upward trend line. This is also a line, but at this point it's kind of redundant. And this is a trigger higher, but it stopped out this trade, so I cannot take it. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it. And it did close right below VWAP, so I would have preferred it to close above VWAP. And there's a stop loss. Again, you're seeing my rules in action and why my rules are my rules. This is a bearish signal to go down, but we have the EMA here and we have the golden ruler here. So we're going to mark it out. It did end up working, but again, I'd rather be more consistent with my rules. We'll go ahead and keep track of the runner. Golden ruler moves to the top. This is a signal to go higher, but we got all this resistance overhead. Can't take this one either. There's a stop loss. On the way to it going down, this was the bearish signal. Well, it might have been earlier. Yeah, it was this inverted hammer. That was actually the signal to go down. Regardless, the runner is still running. We now have a lower high, so we're going to mark that. Okay, so the runner's still running. Runner is out. This will be a signal to go higher. Problem is we have the EMA and the downward trend line in the way. And you could see, boom, triggered higher, immediate rejection. Now this is a bearish signal, but it was the candle that took out this candle, and we have this upward trend line. So it did end up working, but you could see how you could see why I said price action was very sloppy. You had all these marginal situations where you didn't know whether or not to take the trade. Our runner is right there. Delete these lines. This is now going to be macro trend line, and this is going to be my micro trend line here. Yeah. So there it is. Okay, so now the runner moved to here and just got taken out. Okay, so now this is a signal to go higher, but we do have the standard deviation in the way. It didn't trigger, so it did trigger lower, but we were still in this trend line. So I'll go ahead and mark it, but this is not an actionable trade, even though it worked. All right, let's keep track of the runner. Let's delete some of these lines. Runner got taken out right here. This is a signal to go bearish. And it worked. It wasn't that many points. It was about um, five, five or so points. So let's go ahead and count this one. And the runner just got taken out right there. This is the second bearish trade right there. We broke this upward trend line. And again, it worked, but not a lot of points. 5 points again. This did make a new low though, so our golden ruler does move down, which gives us this new micro trend line. which we can delete this one right here. And this one's going to be this one like this. Going to keep track of the runner. Runner just got taken out right there. And we're just going to adjust this micro trend line. This would be a signal to go higher, but we're right at the golden ruler. So there you go. Immediate trigger and then immediate rejection. This now becomes the bearish signal, but it was also the trade that stopped you out, so we're not going to take it. You can see why my rules are my rules. Like I've seen this over and over again. When the market wants to frustrate the crap out of you, excuse my language, but um, and this is just an example of that right there. So we're now in this bullish trade, but we couldn't have taken it anyway. We were in the middle of those two other trades. It did end up working. We're going to draw two trend lines. We're going to have this one, and we're going to have this one. Okay, so our runner is still running. Our runner just got taken out. Now we are retesting. $750 and the EMA. I'm not sure if this actually, no, it's still lower. Okay. This did trigger lower, but you can see all that support underneath us with the EMAs and that trend line and the standard deviation. So this trade is no good. This trade triggered higher, but we were in the middle of the bearish trade. It did end up working. Now the runner just got taken out. This will be the signal to go higher, but we have a trend line in the way. So let's go ahead and mark it. All right, it worked. And the runner is still running right here. Okay, the runner is still running, and boom, the runner is out. We did have this bearish candle that retested 800 and VWAP and failed. So this is technically the bearish signal. We wouldn't have been able to take it anyway because we were in the middle of that bullish trade with the runner. It did hit its target. And now the runner is out. Now you have this bullish signal here. Again, you wouldn't have been able to take it anyway. Did work. Believe the runner just got taken out up and then down. It's hard to tell sometimes. Let's move the golden ruler all the way to here. All right. So this is technically the trade here. Bounce above VWAP. Only problem with this trade is that it did close below 800. But if you went back up and you triggered, it would have triggered above 800. So this trade worked. You got about, let's just say you got another 5 points out of this trade. Golden ruler moves up. This gets deleted. Let's keep track of the runner. All right, so now we've been trading for about a little over an hour. There was some big news at 10 o'clock. It moved the market higher. We are back in this area here. This is a signal to go higher. We took out the runner. We broke this downward trend line. Yeah. So this is a signal to go higher. Question is, do we have anything in the way? Doesn't look like we do. No, we don't have anything in the way. And this was a stop loss. I was actually surprised by this when I took this trade. Like everything was there for it to continue higher, but yeah, we immediately got stopped out. Not immediately, but within 10, 15 seconds. So here we lost about, what is this, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5. Let's just say we lost 10 points on this trade, which kind of stinks. All right, so with that, we're going to draw a new downward trend line, just one, and then we're also going to draw this one. So let's delete this, delete this, delete that. Retested 800 here. This will be a signal to go higher, but we have all that resistance overhead. It didn't trigger. This candle did. This candle is a signal candle to go bearish. So we would take this. And this was a very obvious one. There's about 10 points here, probably captured 9 of those 10 points. And then we move the golden ruler all the way up here. Runner is still running. And I believe, I don't know if the runner was taken out here or not. At this point, the runner was taken out anyway. All right, so we're drawing this upward trend line. And this then becomes our next bearish signal. Problem is we have that standard deviation level below us, so we can't take it. We'll go ahead and measure it out. It did end up working, and I'm not sure if the runner has been taken out yet. It's kind of hard to tell. I'm going to assume the runner's right there. And there, the runner finally gets taken out right here. Our golden ruler moves down. This is now our signal to go north, but we have the EMA in the way, so we can't take it. There's the stop loss. This this is also the bearish signal to go lower. But it would have been the trade that stopped you out. I wouldn't have been able to take it anyway. It did end up working. We do move the golden ruler all the way down here and draw this trend line now. Keep track of the runner. This is our signal to go up, but we have resistance right here. So we can't take this one either. Did end up working almost immediately. And the runner gets taken out. Golden ruler moves to the bottom here. And this was a bearish signal. Even though it looks bullish, it's an inverted hammer, but we're right at this EMA. Did end up working, but we couldn't have taken it anyway. All right, so let me think here. So we hit our target, runner gets taken out, we get this bearish candle, it breaks this downward trend line, and that becomes our new signal candle to go bearish. But we can't take it. We have 750 right there. Golden ruler is right there. And that's exactly what happens. We get stopped out. Yep, we get stopped out. So I hope you're beginning to see this system in action and why I have my rules. It helps to prevent a lot of false positive signals. All right, so this is a trigger to go higher, but we have this downward trend line here. We have the golden ruler there. We have the standard deviation level there, so we're not taking this one higher. Even though it ended up working. Let's see. Our golden ruler is all the way down here. Gonna keep track of the runner is right there. Beat this one. All right. Runner has been taken out. We have this upward trend line here. We do have this. This is a signal to go up to retest VWAP. And it worked. This is about 8 points. Maybe we captured 7 on this one. Golden ruler is still all the way down here. Runner just got taken out. We're approaching the 800 level again, which has been resistance recently. This is a bearish signal to go down because rejection off VWAP, close off VWAP. Problem is we have this EMA in the way. It does end up working. And the runner is still running. Runner is right here. All right, runner is out. This is a signal to go up. See if we have room. If we do, we're taking it. It never triggered higher. So now we have two lines here. This is a signal to go higher right here. This broke this. Actually, technically speaking, looking back at this, this was the signal to go higher right here. We couldn't have taken it because of this trend line, so it did end up working. Excuse me. See where the runner is. The runner's right about here. Let's delete this, delete that. Runner has been taken out. This is a signal to go bearish. Problem is, is this trend line going to get in the way? Let's see. Yes, we skip it. We basically almost hit it to the tick, and then we finally hit it for real this time. Our golden ruler is here, or was here. We made a brand new low and a brand new high, or a brand new swing. Let me correct myself here. This candle closed below the golden ruler, so our golden ruler moves here. This gives us two types of candles, types of trend lines. We have this trend line up here. We have this trend line down there. And the runner is still running. This is technically a bullish. Very quick. We still have the bearish trade running though. So let's go ahead and keep track of that. Okay. And then this was another bullish trigger here, but we still have the bearish trade that was running. The runner gets taken out, and this continues to go higher. The runner is here now for the bullish trade. The runner is here. Runner gets taken out. This is a bullish signal. Our golden ruler did move down to here, and now it's at the bottom. The only thing I don't like about this is that we have this trend line in the way here. It does end up working when we hit VWAP. At this point, it's 10:30. I said I was going to review about an hour's worth of trades today, but in 1 hour, we took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trades. And 2 of them were losers. So 6 out of 8. Let's do the quick math here. 6 divided by 8 is 75%. So our win rate today was 75%. And we captured how many points? Let's see. We lost 12 on our first one. Let me add it up real quick here. We captured 16 points in the first hour, which is really good. 16 points multiplied by one mini, which is $20 per contract. That equals about $320. Not a bad hourly rate, especially on a choppy day like this. You saw a lot of the false positive trades. Um, very happy with the way we traded and we avoided a lot of landmines. So I hope this was super helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below and I'd be more than happy to answer it. And we'll see you guys live tomorrow in the trading room. Have a great evening.